I'm Maddie.
I'm Amber. And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weirdos in this one.
Like a song, like a sailor snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Sam.
Wow. Hey everybody, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot. And today we are going to be talking all about the Knights Templar, what they essentially were, and then discussing different theories about them. Not like going in depth on conspiracy theories. So if that is what you think you're in for, you are not, my friend.
No, I'm
We're just gonna discuss
I'm so disappointed because I was wanting to get into conspiracies, but I didn't. I didn't do much because there's so much about me already.
The biggest conspiracy, like if you take the Dan Brown and like that thing out of it, right? Mm-hmm. Right? The biggest conspiracy about the Knights Templar is totally a real conspiracy of, I'm jumping to the very end, but King Philip conspiring against them and murdering, arresting them. And that was totally bullshit, which, the papacy admitted later. But the Knights Templar, let's get into it. They're back in the days of the Crusades, born out of the Crusades, born in 1118. And they were originally called the Poor Fellowship.
Yeah, the Poor Fellowship.
Something of the Temple of Jerusalem.
But they were French.
Yes, they were. It was 10 French knights who volunteered to escort pilgrims going to the Holy Land so they could investigate, or I guess so they can experience a religious pilgrimage. And but they were getting robbed on the way.
Would you ever want to visit Bethlehem or anything like that?
No, as Maddie has said many a time on this show, that land is cursed.
No, totally.
I am not going there.
See, for me, it's one of those things where it's I really don't have any want. But I understand why some people do.
Like the Wailing Wall, I'm pretty sure is out there in the Holy Land, and I would love to experience the Wailing Wall.
They have the beautiful Holy River. They have the beautiful, I think, right? That's not Bethlehem. That's...
So you're thinking
it's where Jesus was baptized.
Yeah, I think
you know what I mean. It's a very beautiful river.
I was raised Christian, but it's been a very long time.
Right. They have lots of very holy places.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Bethlehem, Jerusalem.
I would kind of rather go to. I'd rather go to Egypt. I think. Is that horrible? I feel like I'd rather go to Egypt. Yeah. If I had to go on a
I'd rather go to Turkey, which I guess was part of the land of the Crusades. But
if I had to
choose, I'm gonna go to Vlad Dracula's castle.
If I had to choose a holy land to go to, it would absolutely be Athens and Greece, right? But if I had to choose a cursed land, I'm going to Egypt. If
I had to choose a cursed land.
It would certainly not be the Middle East.
Yeah, I'm really that is an interesting question though.
The Mayan temples, I would consider that being.
Well, I don't know that I consider that cursed. Is it cursed because of human sacrifice or something?
Superstition.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't consider them that cursed land at all. So I would go there.
I don't want to walk through the jungle.
I would take a plane or
I don't know. Go through certain trails.
No, my dad was thinking about moving out there once upon a time pre-COVID.
It's
sorry for saying it weird, but I don't know if that word still gets flagged.
But it's just damn, you got to climb all them damn hills, and then it's really hot.
I love my motherland, but honestly, I'm gonna say that land is cursed land.
Really?
I think I would. The former USSR, essentially. I mean, that is kind of.
But that's better over there. I think I would enjoy the weather over there more than where the Mayans are.
Opposite. No, I do not like the cold. I like it hot and steamy. I'm a house plant. I am a house plant. Keep me warm and hydrated. I am happy.
That's the Russian refugees talking through you. They're like, fuck that cold. We're coming to America.
Well, woolly mammoth back. I am going on a pilgrimage to the motherland, no matter the danger.
Okay, I have to mention
No
this.
matter the
I'm
dangers.
so sorry, guys. Not on topic. I have to ask. I'm so sorry.
It is well, maybe that's not on topic, but talking about going to the different
It
holy
is in
lands
Russia.
and cursed lands.
It is in Russia. It's like one of the Russians, like mountains. There's a mountain right there, right? Something like that. Okay. These people were going on a hike, right? Lots of people. I think there was like 15
Is
people.
she about to fucking say the woolly mammoth?
No.
Oh,
They
are
were
you
going
talking
on
about?
hike.
Are you about to talk about the people that like dismembered, like died? Something passed. The petrol.
They found them. Their
Yes.
clothes were folded, but they were naked. Their clothes were folded up neatly.
Some of them are missing a tongue. Some
Yeah.
missing a liver.
What happened to them?
Oh, Dyatlov Pass. I would love to do an episode about that. There are so
Okay.
many freaky ass horror
Because
movies.
like, what the happened to them? Was it the government? There's a theory that it was.
Yeah,
the
I saw a
government.
horror movie that basically
It was the government.
well,
Was
not
it
exactly like
aliens?
it was like the government was doing experiments and
Uh-huh.
like it was this whole thing like they created a time warp thing, but things that went through the time warp that came out like
Uh-huh.
evil creatures, whatever.
Um,
Not evil necessarily, but like unpleasant.
I just read
so
about that.
I think it was called the Dyatlov Pass Experiment is the movie, and it's terrifying and I love it, but it's really old, so that was totally spoilers, and I don't give a fuck. It's really good. It's worth it. If you love horror movies, Dyatlov Pass, Dyatlov Pass something. Terrifying. It's fucking terrifying. And I am like a horror movie connoisseur. I don't get scared easily. That movie is fucking terrifying. That experience, terrifying. The movie is about like people who like they're looking into the incident, right?
Mhm.
The original one.
Mhm.
And then so like their current era and like they go back and they have a lot of similar experience. It's fucking good.
Oh, dude.
That thing, but
we'll
it's
have to do a
terrifying.
whole episode.
Oh
on
yeah,
that then,
and
'cause,
we could partner it with like the Bermuda Triangle because we've still never done that.
we haven't done that.
No, we
Okay,
haven't. We need to.
that'll
I
be-
love it.
But on
Burn
the subject of pop culture with the Knights Templar, it's often mentioned
Indiana Jones.
Indiana
Sorry.
Jones, video games
Dan
like
Brown thing.
Assassin's Creed.
The Dan Brown books.
I should-
What is Tom Cruise movie? Tom Hanks movies, not Tom Cruise. My bad. The good. Tom Hanks
I know what you're talking about. Love him. The Da Vinci
My
Code.
dad loves them.
The Da Vinci Code,
Yeah, I think my
which is
dad and mom have like
fucking
read them and loved them.
I need to read the book. And then there's this one book that I read. Or I'm sorry, not book. Movie that I watched with my grandfather. He insisted we watched it. It had Orlando Bloom in it. It's called The Kingdom to Heaven.
Yes.
That's about the Knights Templar, right? Or is that
I
the Crusades in
don't-
general?
I think it was about the Crusades in general, but
Okay.
I didn't know. Now I'm gonna have to rewatch
It's
that
actually,
movie.
it was really
That was
sad.
one of those like I put it on, I went to sleep to it.
It was
I'm
sad.
real good about going to sleep to war movies.
It was sad because the whole movie like touched on the point that before these people, not necessarily the Knights Templar, but before these invaders came in, it was everybody's holy land. The Muslims shared with the Christian or the Jews,
Right,
and
because,
everybody shared. And then
Yes.
one specific fucking people decided this is ours.
Crazy.
We're not sharing with you.
Fucking crazy ass people. Like, look, nothing against Christians as a whole, right? But
The Catholics.
literally, the first crusades were led by people who were following priests named things like Crazy Walter. I'm not kidding. Like 4,000 people. And like the worst part about it is it always started with, so it's like the crusades themselves are born out of anti-Semitism. Because at home, it always started with slaughtering the Jewish people that lived wherever they lived before they made their way to the Holy Land to then kill everybody. Like everybody. And along the way, they would raise a lot of Jewish villages. So like, that's fucking sad. And so maybe we should start off with like, to me, this episode's not doing a whole commentary on like how religion creates killers. I don't know if that's how you like.
No, I think we're mostly talking about the Knights. I mean, we are talking about the Knights Templar, not how or why. I mean,
right. I mean, like
we
we'll
are
talk about
but-
why they're there because the Crusades
Right.
happened, and now Christians from Europe are going on pilgrimages to the Holy Land, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, those kinds of places. And because when they're going to be giving large sums of money to these like churches that are now out there. And the
Jewish
Knights
food.
Templar volunteered.
I'm just like, I need a bagel. Like,
bagel and lox, man.
seriously. Get some papers on this bitch.
My husband makes the best challah bread. Challah bread. He makes challah bread. And Lolly and I make pretty good lox. Pretty good.
Oh, the potato things, yeah.
Yes, traditional lox. Like they're a lot of work. We've done it twice. They're really fucking good, but they're a lot of work. So we usually just do like lazy latkes. Like so the Crusades for these pilgrimages, they go with lots of money. People find out like, oh, these Europeans are traveling all the fucking way across the land. Sorry, I didn't mean to like put my hand in front of your face. Oh, that looks like, I mean, I don't know what the recipe is, so I don't know how traditional, but it looks like them. Okay. Like, so
they're
in
basically
1099 is when the Crusades start, but in 1118 is when these 10 French knights volunteer to protect people going.
Okay, because they're being attacked. And it's like you said, are they being attacked because they're going into a foreign country, or are they being attacked because that's just what happens back then? I mean,
I think they're being attacked because they're going into a foreign country. I'm sorry.
No, please interrupt. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, we got some Robin Hood situations where they're like...
Well, and I think it's more it's not just that they're going into a foreign country. They're going into a foreign country and they have a lot of money on them that they're planning on giving to these churches. And once the people that would normally be robbing on these roads realize, like, oh, the Europeans, they got money.
It's so like now when the Vikings discovered the monastery.
Yes, exactly.
They don't know how to fight.
And maybe it's a little bit of a Robin Hood thing. Like, we're going to put this money back into our broken ass economy from all the war we had to deal with fighting you people off.
Well, I mean, in the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, doesn't he come back from the fucking Middle East, right?
Yeah,
and that's where
Richard Lionheart, which is awful. Like,
yeah, like in the real thing
for this episode. Okay, in 1212, during either the Third or the Fourth Crusade,
did they eat babies? Is that what you're going to say?
There was the Children's Crusade, which was the very misguided belief that God would protect the innocent, pure children. So the children were sent into battle and got slaughtered. Most of them did not make it. But
you say that, and that, like, in my head, I'm just like, oh, this behind.
They don't just look like, they're not just hobbits. They're actual children sent to their death. I mean, there's an entire generation.
A child. They're just like, fuck it. Oh, you're sending in the kids? You think we're weak?
No, so the Knights Templar, they weren't just knights. They were warrior monks. No, you're fine. You're fine. Look, I don't need to talk more about the Children's Crusade. Reading about that.
Well, I'm just like, God damn, that's so shitty of them. And then the people that saw that they were fighting children, they're just like, this is easy. Stupid asses. Like, what the fuck? Like, they just didn't even, like, pause for a minute. That's ridiculous.
Look, now, most of the kids didn't even make it there.
Okay.
Most of the kids died on the journey, from what I understood, from what I read. Who the fuck is like, look, we know we lost a lot of grown men, but they were bad. They were nice.
Because we don't.
They were fighting for the church, but they were bad. So let's go for kids.
Because we just need them. That's what it was. We just need them.
No, I think this was actual genuine belief. This wasn't like Civil War where they just needed them. No, this was specifically the Children's Crusade.
So
it's
religious
not that there were no more
psychosis,
knights. Yes. It was a true belief that because they are pure Christian children, God will protect them against the infidels. and they will be victorious in securing the Holy Land once and for all. And oh
I wonder if
my
people
God.
really did think that they were the
I think they
chosen.
really did believe it. I really do. This creates an army of children. Now, granted, I say that, I don't think I'm uneducated. I know the Congo and
Okay.
right, I
the
know like
Congo.
the Hutsis and the Tutsis. Tutsis and the Hutus. Sus. Y'all know Hotel Rwanda. You know what I'm fucking talking about. Rwanda in the 90s. Hutus and the Tutsis. I feel like that is the name of the two tribes that were warring. They use child soldiers. I'm not uneducated. I know that that happens, but an entire army of children thinking they're protected by God. That's just insane to me. It's truly insane to me. But anyway, so the Knights Templar, they were warrior monks, right? So they're born out of these 10 guys that volunteered to do something that they thought was worthwhile and good. They were helping people get to the Holy Land. So that it grew and grew and grew. By 1150, they aren't just warrior monks because, like, they have a strict ass code. They can't even kiss their own moms from chastity, right? By 1150, they become bankers because they are like, well, these guys are just robbing the pilgrimages because these people have a bunch of money. So they develop a system where the Europeans would deposit money in facilities in London or maybe throughout all of Europe. I'm not sure. I know for London for sure. I read that. And then after they take their pilgrimage, they get to get the money out of the bank in Jerusalem. So now they're not traveling all that way with all that money, right?
Okay, so we created like not direct deposit, but banking. Yeah.
Yeah, they created banking and they became some of the richest people in the world, actually. Like they were big bankers from that. And then because, they are a religious order. Because they are, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Because they are a religious order. They don't have to pay taxes per the Pope, and people gift them their estates when they die.
Oh yeah, like, and I had read that like if somebody was gone or gone at war or something, the Knights Templar would take over like their money basically. Like they would give them their money.
Yeah, I read about giving. I didn't read that about the Knights Templar like taking
not like taking, but it was given to like right,
yeah,
right,
because they were bankers. Yeah, like
so they could
transfer money from from Jerusalem to England and vice versa.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're a knight getting paid in Jerusalem for what you're doing, your family's back in England. That's kind of cool. I didn't even think about it from that standpoint outside of pilgrimages. Yeah. But like. They were like the largest landowner in France. They owned Cyprus. They set up shop in Cyprus after the Crusades ended, and they lost their stronghold in already year 8 years.
Can you imagine though, like these fucking knights come in and they've got this like dork ass flag on their chest, and they have a French accent.
So the French accent actually doesn't do it for me.
No, I'm saying this in like a what a fucking
so like the Templar.
You like that
tunic? Yeah.
I
wore red just in honor of the Templar.
I do love the flag. I do love the flag.
I like that. Like
is it attractive to me? No, because I keep
seeing
the guy with no
arms.
I keep seeing the guy with no arms going, it's just a scratch. Even though I don't think that's what
I did not actually watch. I think it's very close.
Okay.
I didn't watch what's it called?
Monty Python. I don't like it
because Corey hates it, and my parents. I think my dad dislikes it and my mom likes it, or vice versa. Either way, one of them got some Monty Python after they got divorced, and I was gonna watch it, and Corey's like, fucking
I hate that
Monty
movie.
Python.
I do.
And I don't think I've ever watched it all.
I
the way
watched it
through.
once. It was so fucking dumb. Like, so every time I guess, there we go. I don't know if the Knights Templar are in the Monty Python or if they just use the flag or
Right,
whatever.
just because that iconography is very.
But like they're riding a horse. They're pretending to ride a horse, and the guys behind them going, "What the fuck? That's stupid. Why isn't he?"
Like, all I can think, I have no idea, because I'm just like, that dude in at least 2 other things is like, just a scratch. Something else where like his
He's, like,
wrist
bleeding.
is like projectile blood, and he's just like, it's fine, and it's it's like I've never
National Lampoon's
anyway,
European Vacation.
Yep, and
It's okay. Like,
it's just a scratch. No,
But-
and then there's something else too.
but
That he's in, but no, I get it.
So that's just what the outfit reminds me.
Right, and I get that, and for me, it's I very much love, like, I guess medieval war type stuff. I read a lot about it, like fantasy and things like that. And also like highly disappointing for me. And this is gonna sound real fucked up, but I remember watching a History Channel thing that was like, talking about the knights. So just walk over and grab her, please.
I thought you were saying that's what the Knights did, and
Oh,
I was like,
no.
okay,
No,
maybe I'm gonna
couldn't even
change
kiss
my
their own
mind.
mommy.
Well,
Yeah, we don't have to be a chaste knight. Anyway,
oh my. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I have to like mention this on this podcast.
no, you're fine. I'm just like, damn it, that she totally threw me off. And what the fuck was I?
Well, there's a may I then?
Yeah.
So there's a thing called mask talk on TikTok, which is people that wear like masks. Like, no, guys, listen. Death Eater masks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and because TikTok was ending, they did their face reveals. Half of them are women. I wasn't expecting this at all.
I follow some very
obviously male, right?
masculine women on Facebook. Nope.
No,
One of them, like, it's so funny. She's constantly making reels where women are like, I want to have your babies. And she's like, I can't. I'm a chick.
One
Like,
of
can
them
you not
was
tell
a
I'm a
knight.
chick? And I'm like, I can tell you're a chick. I would still have your baby.
one of them was a knight mask, and I was like, this is definitely it. Nah, like, take it like it's a woman. Beautiful long blonde hair. I am no man. I'm like, this whole fucking time.
I need to see that.
Like, this whole fucking time. Sorry, we were just you were talking
Sorry,
about
we
the
just
outfit.
binged the Game of Thrones, not Game of Thrones. We just
Lord of
binged
the
the
Rings.
second season of the Lord of the Rings show. Second season so much better than the first season. If you watched the first season and you were like, "Fuck the Rings of Power," I get it, me too. Second season so much better. So good, so good. We ended up watching all of it yesterday. Well, except for like the first 2 seasons, which we watched. The first 2 episodes of the second season we watched like I don't know. Sometime in the past, and we could not get into it because things were happening around the house. Got 4 kids. It's happen. They can talk and move and shit, and they need stuff. It sucks. But no, I'm just kidding.
So
but
Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc. Was this before or after? Just because
Before.
we had before.
This was before, as far as I don't remember.
Wasn't she during
Wasn't
the
she
Crusades?
1300? I
only
thought
asked-
she was in the 1300s.
Maybe she is. Maybe she's like right after.
Yeah, I think she, but
So-
I don't know. This is the reign of the Knights Templar is 1118 through 1307. Because so through the course of them becoming like these powerful knights and powerful landowners and powerful bankers, and then the Crusades end in 1294.
Okay, she's 14.
She's 1400.
Yes.
Okay.
So she's like
she-
right after.
She's 100 years after. Yeah. So and then they have become super powerful, right? And so then the Crusades end, and now King Philip of France owes them a ton of money.
Right.
They are powerful landowners in France, and apparently they were discussing making their own country so that Templars all had a place to go now that the Crusades are over. And they're doing a lot of their planning from Cyprus from what I understand.
So
at
are
this
they
point in
not
history.
staying in the Middle East then?
Well,
They're
no.
leaving?
So the Crusades ended because the Christians lost Jerusalem. I think the Christians lost some big stronghold, and they were like the Crusades ended with the European Christians retreating
Okay.
and the Muslims taking back over the Holy Land.
I think that's what the Kingdom of Heaven is about. I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Curious. It's been so long since I've watched that movie, and I mean,
So with the Christians retreating and the Muslims taking over, the Knights Templar is also leaving.
they have no business being there now. So they're back in Cyprus,
Okay.
which they own.
Okay.
Right? They own the island of Cyprus. Like
Okay.
everybody, like let's just absorb that. That's how powerful these guys were.
And they've got their little round table.
Right, and they have their like 72 rules. They have like 72 rules they have to follow. Like some of which are like really silly. Like some of them are really I like. They can only meet 3 days a week. They cannot wear pointed shoes that have laces because that's pagan.
Uh-huh.
They can't trade with each other. If they write a letter, the master of wherever they're living has to approve it. And they have to be willing to read it to that master. Which seems kind of culty.
For sure. Yeah.
But like they have chastity vows. They have to be like clean. They can keep a beard, but their hair needs to be kempt and their beard needs to be nice, but like they don't have long hair. I mean, like they have all these rules because they really were warrior monks, right? But after the Crusades are said and done and they're trying to like move on with their life, King Philip does not like their existence. And they owe him he owes them a lot of money.
Right.
So they won't
this is
loan
where
him
he's
anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and here's what I find interesting. He's just trying to like be in charge of everything from what I can understand because he like in 1307 he has all the Knights Templar arrested on October 13th, 1307. Friday the 13th. He has them all arrested on the same day, like big orchestrated. Imagine how hard he worked for a month at that. They started planning on September 14th. That's my birthday, y'all.
Oh.
I just think it's funny.
Well,
but for a whole month, like there's no cell phone. Like there's only writing a letter and sending it with a trusted guy. You know what I mean? Or traveling around yourself to do all the planning. Like that's crazy. But they were all arrested for heresy charges.
Because he didn't want to fucking pay them.
Right. And he didn't want them to create their own country out of the land that they own. But also, what I find highly interesting is 4 years earlier, he had done that to the Pope that was in power that refused to, like, find the Knights guilty of heresy. But he put his own Pope, Pope Clement, in place. And that guy kind of was willing, but not entirely willing, but he was kind of willing to sell the Knights out. Here's my thing. The heresy charges that I read about were ridiculous. Like, they spit on the cross.
What? No. I already don't believe.
Really, I don't either.
I really don't believe.
I don't either.
I mean, I'm sitting here like, no, I don't believe that at all. That is absolutely ridiculous.
The only way that I see them spitting on the cross is some kind of ritual where it's like, you know, this is something I've created and now it's mixing with the energy on the cross, right?
Or they're, I mean, kissing the cross? I don't think so.
Right? I don't know. But yeah,
No,
like,
I don't believe that at all.
I don't either. Now, they were accused of homosexuality, and I already know
I do
you
believe that.
I
believe
do
it
not
100%
because of the piety of these men. If it wasn't for
maybe not
the
all of them,
warrior
but one or
monks-
two. Yeah.
Well, it was their initiation rites they were accused of these things. Like,
Ooh, I definitely believe it now.
I do not.
Like,
I absolutely don't. Like, they're supposed to be so holy. They can't retreat from battle. Like, I don't believe that it would be institutional in that regard. I don't.
but they also can't have, I don't know.
I'm not saying none of them were doing it. What I'm saying is I do not believe that homosexual acts were part of the initiation rite simply from the standpoint of what the church believed. Not that I think there's
No,
anything
I'm going
wrong
to agree with you.
homosexual
I
acts.
don't think there was homosexual acts as a part of the initiation.
Right.
Do I think there were no homosexual acts within the Knights Templar?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're living alone.
Away from that, yeah, absolutely. But not.
And not that there's anything wrong with that. Like,
No,
they
it's
love
like
each other.
some fucking
They
college,
love
like
each other.
university, fucking like
Catholic
initiation
yeah,
type
no.
thing. That's
And
what
see,
they're
like,
accusing them
and
of.
that's exactly what they're accusing them of. I mean, I just don't believe that. I don't think that, you know, desecrating anything that was a religious holy object, and I don't believe that like going back on their vows of any kind. Like, I just don't believe that that would be their initiation.
I don't think so. That makes no sense.
Well, and Pope Clement later, like, there are papal papers, that say, like, absolutely they are exonerated of all charges of heresy. But before they all, you know, before that, most of them were either had been arrested and then released because they signed false confessions under torture, or like Jacques de Molay and Geoffrey de Chaussee. I don't know. They were like the two main guys in charge. They were burned alive in 1314 after being tortured for like literally 7 years.
Okay, NK. Like, good God.
Well, and not just that, I got that. But not just that, but the Jacques Molay, I'm pretty sure that was his name. But he since he was like the head guy in charge and they like really wanted to stick it to him, everybody else had like fast burning pyres that they were burned on, but his was not. It was designed in a way so as to slow burn, so he would be tortured as he burned a lot. And he actually cursed everybody that had anything to do with his death. And per what I read, you know, everybody that, you know, like he cursed like King Philip and his heirs, and he cursed the Pope that had put him to death and said, you know, you're going to be dead, you know, before long. And all of these things came to pass. They all died prematurely. The Pope died within like a couple of years of him being put to death. And I don't know, like, I'm gonna, like, not to throw around the term karma, but that's some karma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that shit, they deserve to be put to death for what they did. But, like, do you believe any of it? Because, like, one of the things that ever got me interested in the Knights Templar was the fact that the Knights Templar, when they were arrested for all the bad things they did, and this was like on History Channel or something. I watched it when I was like 10 to 12 years old. But like one of the head guys in charge, like he had done like experiments on people, like scientific, like, you know, cutting open not yet dead bodies to see how they worked kind of thing. And in my research, I found nothing.
Not that I don't necessarily.
Corey thinks I'm thinking of the Jesuits. I did not look into that. I did not.
I don't necessarily think the Knights Templar did, no, but I absolutely do think some sort of religious organization.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, he thinks it's the Jesuits, and I'm just getting mixed up.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So, what are some crazy facts about the Knights Templar that you came across?
Crazy facts,
or like, what did you find interesting, or, you know?
The only one that I want to mention, but it's just shitty, is the fact that they like stole a mall and decided that was gonna be their like place to be, and it's just like, damn, that's so shitty. You know what I mean? But but it's like, is it like conquering a castle to them?
Exactly, because they don't
see,
like, of all the religions, you know, they do not see each other as people. You know, like we've seen this play out time and time again in history, especially with the Abrahamic, where they can't play nicely in the sandbox, except they were playing nicely in the sandbox before the Crusades, which is really
Which
It's
is
really sad.
because they
Yeah,
were.
they
They
were.
were. Everybody was kind of just getting along. But that's the thing that got me fucked up. Also the fact that like they kind of just like they really did just the streets there. Like they were in charge. They were hall monitors. You know what I mean? Like, and so to me, I just don't think if anybody, maybe not all of them were terrible people, but I just feel like if you give someone this power over everyone, there's gonna be one or two that's like drunk.
Well, and
Mhm.
honestly, like I get where you're coming from, but like with the Knights Templar specifically, because they had these strict rules for their code of conduct, and they were monks, like they were like they were religious people first and warriors second, and they had like this whole dichotomy in that regard that was different from regular knights. Because like if you put regular knights just in charge of the city, absolutely 100% they're all acting a fool. But with the Knights Templar, they're keeping each other in line so that they're not behaving that way for the most part, from what I was able to read and what I would believe based on that information. Like if you've got a 72 rule book of how you've got to conduct yourself, and you're not even allowed to write a letter without the master saying it's okay or not. I just feel like they would keep each other in check, if for nothing else, that I don't want to get in trouble for you behaving badly. So like that culture of like ratting each other out probably was very strong. But the other thing that makes me think that they weren't as willing to behave like the other knights is that when there would be a large company of men and there's like 40 Knights Templar, like at least two times this happened where Knights Templar were with other knights and going to like take over a city, and the other knights killed the Knights Templar all off, like so that they could, you know, pillage and do as they would.
I think people in this is just my opinion on people as a whole. I think people try their best, but nobody's perfect. So even if one of those knights were trying their best, I don't think all of them followed every single rule that was given. I think maybe they could have tried to take it seriously, you know what I mean? But we are human, and humans suck.
Well, and I will agree with that totally, but at the same time, like I'm definitely looking at this through like somebody who lives back then, and the church is kind of like everything, and heaven and hell are like real life all the time for them. And I just think that if you're in that position of being the monk warrior, you're gonna behave differently than like raping and pillaging, or raping and pillaging, because you're taking that kingdom of heaven peace very seriously, because like to you that is absolute gospel. Like not I'm not like trying to bastardize that term. Like what I mean is like they truly believe that doing what they're doing is going to get them into heaven, and so they have to follow the rules. Like that's just how I see it.
I
From
think
the
most of
standpoint
them did, yeah. I do think that I do think some of them did, yeah. I think there's a couple bad seeds everywhere.
because like you brought up the Crusades a lot the last time we talked about the Knights Templar, so I did read up on the Crusades a lot, and that was
horrible. My Catholic grandmother was pissed when I started learning about the Crusades at the school because she said it was all lies. So there are Catholics that truly believe the Crusades were all. It's very true.
okay.
Or propaganda. Yeah.
That's I don't know. The Crusades made me sad reading about it. Like that's how I learned that like the first guys that were leading like armies of people to the Holy Land, everybody got slaughtered, by the way, these first rounds of it. They were batshit crazy, like literally in their name, batshit ass crazy Pete. You know, like that was. But they really did. They like it was just like, yeah, let's murder everybody. You know what? you're not Christian, you're not safe. And I believe
I
that was
think
really
religious
fucking sad.
psychosis ran rampant back then.
Well, and I don't even like. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt of like nobody. That's the best I got in that regard. Because like, yeah, the crazy shit and the shit that Richard the Lionheart did. Like, I thought he was a good guy because of Robin Hood.
Right, he comes back.
I thought he was a good guy.
Wait, I don't know anything about him. Don't tell me about him. Don't. I would. I mean, I would say like we could, but
I'm never gonna watch The Prince of Thieves the same again.
I love it. Dude,
Or Men in Tights, man. Either one.
cartoon one.
Oh my God.
And then he comes back and he's an actual lion. But I love the cartoon one. And he's a fox. Oh my god, just like fox. I love Robin Hood.
I do love the main.
Maybe Robin Hood will be going there with our fairy tale episodes. Because like our next episode, we're talking about Rapunzel.
Rapunzel down your long gold hair.
I
remember
actually
it as
very
gold hair, not
surprised.
long hair, which was so funny.
I was very surprised in doing my research that Barbie Rapunzel ain't a dude. It was pretty accurate, except for some except for some things. But
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
we'll get more into that.
the only, yeah, I guess we'll do that.
So
we'll stop.
We'll do the things, yeah. So, because I think we about wrapped it up on the Templars.
Right.
Like,
I
they
think
were
so.
They were innocent of the charges brought against them. They probably weren't all great people. I mean,
But they weren't all bad people either.
right, exactly. And they were definitely a product of their times.
Yes.
I think that's
a good way to end it. All right, with that being said, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on Threads, Instagram, and Facebook at Witches Talking Tarot.
You can find us on the X at Classiest Witches because we are the classiest witches, you know, just like Death by DVD.
Melissa,
Victoria,
and Pam
already know. So thanks, guys, so much for being our patrons on Patreon. If you would like to join them in getting a spiffy little shout out and some fun extras from your favorite witches, go to patreon.com/Witches Talking Tarot. And thank you for coming to sit with us for a spell. Bye.